Hello and welcome to another modelling video. This is Alan from the McConman at YouTube with another update on the Providence Gundam. Now this is probably the second last, if we're unlucky, last update until the project is finished, and we are working on the backpack, which we have not started last time, and there's been quite a bit done. Using the ultrasonic knife, we've cut 4 holes and we've filled it with this really lovely textured plastic. I've done the same on the back. Now the back, you're not going to see a lot of detail as most of it's going to be covered by the Gundam, but some of the edges and whatnot will be. To build a some sort of illusion of flaps there for the runners or for the thrusters, I added little hinges. Some of the detail has become raised, such as these tiny flat half mil, really skinny strips. I find them amazing for detailing. It's very expensive and it's done by evergreen styrene plastics. Their little rods and strips and whatnot is just invaluable. Tiny raised chopped pipework. And this end we have the majority of what was pulled off, as well as all the panels re-scribed so they're quite deeper and they should take to a wash nicer. Now I've made a little notation on the thrusters as this does not sandwich and come together correctly. This is mostly due to a putty build-up to seal this, preventing proper closure, as well as a lot of chopping up on the inside of the ultrasonic knife. Here's the inside, and I really had to gut the internals of peg holes and moulding lines and whatnot just to fit those plates in. Very complex cutting, probably some of the hardest ultrasonic knife work I've ever done. So that's the insides. Still keeping everything in these very useful bags, awesome form of storage and organisation. Also, a new tool that I picked up is this pack of 100 stupidly tiny Q-tips. It's pretty much cotton around a toothpick. Very useful. So the special edition base is finished, painted, decaled and everything. So it's looking pretty good. So we've fixed the gap problem, and that was purely, instead of messing with the putty, we just sanded down these nubs a bit. Got all the parts lined up and ready for mounting. So we've got all these parts mounted. Copper, thruster, weathered effect. Just your standard burnt iron. And these will be the candy yellow. Really do dig the parts that were cut out and that textured styrene. So we've got the legs all laid out. Very little on the inner frame bit. That will all be painted in burnt iron. We've got the feet, red, fairly standard. As there wasn't much I could do, I added all this raised detail with very thin styrene plates. The side of the legs, which were the most difficult thing to detail and figure out, I've cut the sides out so you could see the inner frame detail. And these are the upper leg armour that's being worked on currently. And that is how much detail we will be showing off with the leg cutout. Quite a bit of work with ultrasonic knife, and you got all sorts of flap and styrene work. And we've got all the parts on skewers, except for those I'll have to just go on another bit of cork for mounting, and that should be everything mounted. We'll airbrush it tomorrow, and it's just going to be all about the decals. So we've got the whole collection of leg parts, feet parts, backpacks, all mounted. There's a various amount of colours. The areas that are fairly dark are going to be your burnt iron. The grey colour clusters are going to be your candy, and the red. Very straightforward, except for this little corner, brass. So looking at the backpack with some primer on, in case there's any faults. The detail blends in quite nicely with the existing sculpture and whatnot. So pretty happy about that. So I got all the parts primed, looking pretty good so far. So these got painted in burnt iron. There's been a bit of a touch-up as well as a clear coat. Looking forward to sludge wash and it's done. Same go, but these are for the backpack. You can see that quite a bit of colour swapping has occurred to lower the number of colours in the palette. These are just primed, meant to be chrome, though a little more sanding is required. We'll sand it up tomorrow, start getting it to be painted, but if this is the last of the bits, that's not too much of a stretch or a stress out. Thrusters and vents. I always love painting thrusters. Brass is a popular colour, multiple tones of brass copper, darkened into the nozzle, and a very heavy clear coat. It has frosted up and acting a tad weird, being future, though in several to 12 hours it will clear up to a nice, beautiful, shiny finish. Now, being very large pieces, seeing this in Molotow is absolutely intense and crazy. I can't wait to see yellow and a wash go over that. That's just insane. The modification work has come out quite nicely, being a strong chrome. I'm really happy to go for raised details and doing those cutouts and putting further vents. That just looks absolutely insane and beautiful. Side of the legs, very proud of how they have come out. You can see that even though the modifications I did were way over exaggerated with the flaps and the styrene, once you throw chrome on it, that sort of just really washes out. So it definitely jumps out. The feet are just a plain red. The strips just make the lines and the angles jump out a lot more. Free tones to get a nice colour modulation going. A wash, a few more clear coats, touch of pencil weathering, and that is more or less finished. I've got the custom rifle. There's been a bit of decal work. Needs a lot more decals, a few clear coats, probably a bit of a polish. That's finished. This is the shield. It is still in parts. The weathering process has started. Needs a little more weathering, and she's going to be fine. Bit of decal work is definitely going to be required, so assembly will follow shortly. Now, this I haven't showed off yet. The arms and the shoulders. And I've done quite a bit of decal work. Those decals are popping very nicely. Little more needs to be applied. Bit of a polish. One more top coat. And these are finished, just like the torso and the head. And it's slowly going to be working out. These are all the funnels. The funnels are going to be the most furthest away from the body. These will have the least amount of decals, maybe around the bases. Most likely nothing really near the top. You can see you've got all that lovely brass work where you got the thrusters going and the rest of the gold. This is the hips, waist, codpiece area. And again, lots and lots of modifications. There will be some decal work, and you can see that you got that cutout where a bit of inner frame is exposed and you got the gold all the way around, so that effect definitely was achieved ideally. We'll have a quick look at the workbench where everything is stored, doing the working, doing the painting, all that sort of thing. Thank you very much for watching. As always, until next time, stay tuned for further content. It is sprawled quite far, as well as the base, torso and head in storage. Airbrush area is doing quite nice. Post videos at least twice a week. We've got about a month, or yeah, exactly 1 month from now to have this project 100% finished, polished, ready to go. Does seem to be in good standing state, especially with the base being finished. Lots of decal work ahead of us. we can see all that bits and pieces here. It's starting to be quite severely depleted. This was completely full. We'll catch you guys next time. Thank you very much for watching.